All right, my Stuart Skinner lovers, I do apologize. I do apologize because I jinxed the absolute hell out of our boy Stu. This one's on me. I'm taking one for the team. I put out a tweet yesterday, and I talked about it in my day after discussion video too. Stuart Skinner since November 20th. 10-3-1 record, .919 save percentage, a 7.81 goal save above expected as per Evolving Hockey. Keep telling me how we need a number one goalie, LOL. Well, you know what? This was my reaction tonight. This from LA Noir. If you've ever played that game, that was literally me. I had my dad feeding me the score updates while I was at work, and that was literally my reaction. He said it was 3-0, like it was like 10 minutes in, and I was like, yep. Yeah, that sounds about right. So you know what, Oilers fans, that one's on me. I jinxed our boy Stu. I do apologize for that. Now, I have not had a chance to watch the entire game. I came home, I watched the highlights, so I'm not going to do like a full breakdown of the entire game until my day after discussion tomorrow, where I can actually sit down, watch the condensed game, and then have true actual thoughts. But a few thoughts initially here. Number one, why did they leave Stuart Skinner in after it was 3-0? Number two, why did Chris Knoblauch not call a timeout? Number three, I understand going to McDavid and Draisaitl to try and boost your team and try and give a bit of a jump because the team was invisible. The first 10 minutes of this game, they looked completely disinterested. They did not want to play hockey. They looked like they wanted to be anywhere other than an NHL hockey rink. So that was just a strange, slow start to the game, and it happens. And I'm going to be one of those people that, maybe I'm going to be like toxic positivity right now. I'm not concerned. I'm not even worried at all. I don't think a game like this is remotely reflective of where the team is at and how they've been playing for the last month and a half, almost 2 months. The Oilers are still in a really good spot. Every good team has one of these games where it's just one of those blow-up games. They get off to a slow start, and then they're trying to climb back into it. It happens, right? So we're not going to sit here. We're not going to completely overanalyze it. Is it frustrating? Yes. Is it annoying? Absolutely. But going into tonight, Pittsburgh, they had lost 4 in a row, and the Oilers had won 4 in a row. And usually something has to give for one team or the other. And in this case, Pittsburgh was able to snap that losing streak, and the Oilers hopefully do not turn this into a losing streak. If they respond on Saturday, Hockey Night in Canada against the Chicago Blackhawks, which, by the way, I will be live streaming Saturday night, if they respond and they kick the absolute snot out of Chicago, we'll all be laughing. Well, we're not even going to remember this game later in the season, especially towards and closer to the playoffs. So for the Pittsburgh Penguins, that's a desperate team looking for a win, trying to remain in that wild card hunt in the Eastern Conference. For the Edmonton Oilers, I don't know, maybe the boys didn't get a good sleep. Maybe they got into Pittsburgh late. Maybe the hotel amenities weren't up to par. Who knows what goes on? Teams lose, teams win. It happens. Let's not overanalyze this one. However, before I end this video, of course, I do want to mention something. I am going to be in Edmonton on Monday, January 13th for the Oilers and Kings game. I am going to be going to that game. So if anyone did want to meet up and say hi at Rogers Place, I would love to meet up and say hi to a lot of you. I know many of you ask me a lot when I'm going to games or if I'm going to games. I am going to one regular season game, and hopefully maybe during the playoffs, I'll be able to see a playoff game for the first time in my life. But I did want to mention that. I wanted to give the heads up to everyone before I even go to the game. That way we might be able to try and plan something. I look forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. And the next thing I want to leave off on here is questions. Let me know your thoughts and any specific questions, anything you want me to touch on in tomorrow's day after. I'm going to have a community segment in my video tomorrow. I'm going to highlight comments or questions. I'm going to answer a lot of your questions as well. I feel like I haven't done like a sit down and answered fan questions or viewer questions in a long time. And I would love to be able to do that again because the amount of support that you've all shown me with how big this community has grown and how much it continues to grow. I really do want to, acknowledge everyone that supports me and also, answer some burning questions, just different thoughts on things. So I will be including and incorporating something like that in tomorrow's video, which I am looking forward to. Before I go, though, we will kind of go over the stats in this game. Shots on goal, the Oilers, 43-26. Obviously, when you get down 3-0 early, score effects kicks in, you're going to start pushing. The Oilers weren't able to amount any kind of comeback, though. They weren't able to get close enough than 2 goals behind. The penalty minutes were 8-4. The Oilers went 1 for 3 on their power play. I haven't had a chance to see any of their power plays, so you'll have to let me know if the power play looked good or if Nedeljkovic in net for Pittsburgh was just standing on his head. Hits in this game, 16-16. Block shots. The Penguins blocking a million shots. Goodness gracious. Takeaways, 3-0 for Pittsburgh. The Oilers had 0 takeaways. That's an interesting stat. I also did want to look at the money puck. Let's take a look at some of the advanced metrics here. Expected goals in all situations in this game, 4.49 to 4.26 in favor of the Penguins. However, because the Oilers pulled their goalie, Pittsburgh was sitting at, hold on, is it going to show me where they were at? They were sitting at 2.66 before the Oilers pulled their goalie. They had some shots towards the open net, which really inflates that expected goal total. The actual expected goals against on Stuart Skinner tonight was 2.66. He gave up 5 goals for a negative 2.34 goal save above expected. If he had been able to just play even in goals saved above expected, the Oilers likely win this one or it goes into overtime. So Stu Skinner, tough game. Let's see how he rebounds. I think you'll see Calvin Pickard start against Chicago on Saturday, and then Skinner will be in net on Monday against the LA Kings, that first game back after the road trip. Leon Draisaitl with a couple of goals, and you love to see it. He also played 27 minutes and 20 seconds, which is just outrageous. That's a lot of ice time for Leon. 2 goals. He extends his lead in the goal scoring race, the Rocket Richard race. He's now at 31 goals. Connor McDavid had 3 points, which is another real good sign. I mentioned in my pregame report that, McDavid and Draisaitl, they had been fairly quiet lately, other than Draisaitl, who had 5 goals in his last 5 games. He's now up to 7 goals in his last 6 games. But Connor McDavid, he's been quiet in terms of McDavid standards. We knew that, he would eventually break through and get some points, and he had 3 tonight. Unfortunately for the team, they weren't able to generate much other than McDavid and Draisaitl. And if we look at individual players, Corey Perry led the way in expected goals for percentage, and Josh Brown was actually surprising. When I logged on to Twitter after work and I saw a lot of the reactions, a lot of negativity towards Josh Brown, the advanced metrics say that Josh Brown had a very solid game tonight, so something that I'll have to take a look at when I actually am able to sit down and watch the entire game. Victor Arvidsson, Evan Bouchard, Leon Draisaitl had good games, and then when it comes to the advanced metrics, looks like Ty Emberson, Brett Kulak, Nugent Hopkins, Adam Henrique, Colson, Skinner, Kapanen, basically the bottom 6 once again kind of struggled. Janmark, Henrique, and Brown as a line, 26.18 expected goals for percentage. They were put back together after Draisaitl and McDavid got reunited, and I think there's a reason why Hyman was bumped down to that third line for a little while there, because I think the team and I think the coaching staff understand just how weak that bottom 6 is right now. It needs some extra juice. It needs some extra juice. And we'll see what the team ends up doing moving forward. We'll see what the lines look like on Saturday. I do expect a couple of changes. I also expect a couple of different looks when it comes to the defense pairs. I don't know if Troy Stetcher's hurt right now. I haven't heard anything. But Josh Brown in the lineup 2 straight games makes me think that Stetcher is either hurt or he's somehow in Knobloch's doghouse. But I want to say Stetcher's hurt right now. If you know anything, please let me know in the comment section below. Thank you all so much for watching. I know this post-game reaction is not like my usual ones, but I will have a lot more to discuss tomorrow once I'm able to sit down and watch the game in its entirety rather than just little pieces of it tonight. Thank you all for your support. You mean the world to me. Make sure to smash that like button. And of course, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you are not yet subscribed. I will see you all tomorrow morning, maybe tomorrow afternoon. We'll see when the video gets uploaded. And take care, Oil fans. Tell someone that you love them. And as always, fight like a kid. Fight like Ben. Let's go, Oilers. We'll see you tomorrow.